Hello and welcome. I saw a gap. The gap disappeared. It's not my fault that I wrecked the guy. Really? Okay. This illustration shows the orange car turning in. When he goes to turn in, his car will be at an angle and no longer in his side view mirror with this car, who's in his blind spot, be able to see him. This is also the turn-in area. Figure 1 shows overtaking cars got into an A-pillar and the peripheral view of the lead car before turn-in. That's a proper overtake. Now, if that car was up to the rear axle, that's a F1 open car rule or open car series rule, not sports car racing. They're not going to measure if you're up to an axle in WEC or IMSA or Sports Car Club of America or any of them. Now we're going to look at Exhibit B. This was in LMU over the weekend. It creates quite excitement and stir and great entertainment for many. And here we go. This guy says, this intentional wrecking, how do you report it under griefing? Okay, pay attention. Hits the car once. Once is never enough. Do that to me one time, one more time. 'Cause once is never enough. Bam! And that guy had enough of him. This is lap 4, not lap 1. There's more. He's going to show more. He's reversing. We'll get there. Be patient. Bam, 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 bam. Here we go. But see, this guy in the red car is driving pretty clean. 32.0. Close, but clean. Going to turn in, and bam. Now, what he does here is never cool, but I think he just had it. He had it with this guy. He wanted to teach this guy a lesson, is what happened. Okay, so then somebody asked suggestions. This guy says, both wrong for me, the prior intentional wreck, but clearly you're in a hurry for a dive bomb. I said, it never breaks, so I'd say yes, but not an excuse when you dumped him and could have waited. Just an opinion doesn't make it right what he did. Could have made this corner because you're late to dive bomb. Then he says, dive bomb, it's racing. I'm not supposed to give a break through the corner. If you don't go for a gap, you aren't a race car driver. We've heard that from some other guy who's previously no longer on this planet. This guy says, you're a bit impatient, but his response was ridiculous. There was a gap. I went for it. Notice how he turns before the apex? That's blocking. Don't leave the door open. Oh, he calls that leaving the door open. That wasn't leaving the door open. That's the normal turn there. Hi. This is something different. Mostly him. Then he says to me, I don't agree. I went side by side with clear space. You were not clear side by side. When he was turning in, you weren't even up to his rear wheel, yet side by side. He turned in the block to me. It's a tight track. These are overtaking areas. If you leave the door open, you overtake, it's going to happen. Yeah, also, stupid wrecks are going to happen by people that race overzealous. Hard racing is why we race, not a profession for hypercar owners club. This is not a simulation. This is a simulation, not GT7 Wreckfest. Okay, I try not to pass anymore when there's a clear path for overtake. We'll just enjoy the convoy. How about set the guy up for a pass coming out of the turn? That would take some real skill, wouldn't it? Would that not take some real skill? Huh? I think it would. How about set a guy coming up when you're coming out of the turn? Can you imagine doing something like that? Something that skilled? You smacked into him and then went for a pretty aggressive pass. That's bumper car, says this guy. I'm not going to say names. Just qualify and applaud. You don't have to pass any. Problem solved. This guy says, just get rear-ended instead. Please explain what your intended trajectory was. Okay. So you make the corner. How are you turning at that speed without contact? Thumbs up. True, you had a gap, but you were never going to make that hairpin. And you're driving a stock car with your bump and run. You're driving a NASCAR here. For Imola, just drive straight the lineup for P1. Problem solved. Use your speed tokens to take that 1.1 points. 1.5 points. This guy says, cry about it. If you don't go gap, you aren't a race car driver. Can you just make any move and use this to justify it? Did Sienna say this when he crashed someone out anyway? People obviously need to stop watching Max Verstappen sim racing POV videos since it leads to this. Happy face, tears of joy. Big joke in racing is the if gap car mentality. That gap is worthy of gap to go for. The problem is JS brother ran into the Ferrari. Of course, there's going to be a dodgy defending on a risky move. Mang, this guy. On a second incident, he was simply braking and going for the apex. He just simply did this over-ambitious move. Granted, that was no grounds for him to intentionally wrecking you, but still. That's why most bozos finish like 70% of their races at absolute best. Slanted eye, happy face, smiley guy, laughing, crying. Always Makuba. It's the max lift off the brakes to say he's at the apex first. Maybe a little patience would do you some good in the future. People send absolute belters and defend it by, well, there was 1/4 of cars width in the middle here. You're at fault. Clear path. You think 54 races and 12 DNFs are bad or good? Since those are my stats at the moment. Depends on the cause of the DNFs. We're getting off topic here. Nowadays, let's see if we get back on topic. Oh, comment from me. You are more than entitled to have your opinion. I would take in count you already hit him once just before that. You hit him going into the turn, and you are 100% in his blind spot. I suggest you studying the below sum. Your move, which is very debatable in big picture, cost you the race and caused him damage twice prior to him drilling you. From the state of the overall clean driving, he most likely had it with people not leaving him room, as well as having been hit twice. Everyone has a point where they draw the line in the sand. It seems you pushed him to that. In the end, you both lose. So your theory does not work. Also, you need to pass giving ample room without contact, safely, and without incident. You did not do one of those things. Good read for any online racer below. Best wishes, with an instructional guide that I just posted in the beginning. So this guy's going to do another race now. We won't hear from him for a little bit here. And then he's going to start it up again. Like, restart this conversation. Let's see. Now. Oh! And now we got the guy that actually was involved in an incident as well. This is the guy that got hit and then drilled the guy then. Was this the right response? Absolutely not. However, you need to clarify and understand what's possibly realistic or not. Just a lap before, which he does not show, he did the same thing to a Lamborghini in front of him, causing a domino effect that affected everyone behind him. Previous races, I've had to avoid hitting you because, one, you move under braking. You do so actually the same time as I did in your video. If this was a first-time incident, I wouldn't care. It's racing. But your name has come across my screen and caused more issues than anything else, and that was the last drop. So, there's Willie being right again above, saying the guy probably was the last straw for him. 100% right, Willie. Once again, what a surprise. I'm going to change my channel name to Nostradamus Willie. When you're the one doing the blocking, you don't seem to mind, but when done to you, you get pantsy about it. Doesn't justify my reaction, but you're not a saint, mate. Just saying. The guy goes, I was going to make it all day, every day. My driving is not the same as yours. I am aggressive on the engine braking. And also, definitely was going to make the turn. Done it many times. Yeah, that's because people saw you coming. You've wrecked so many people, they just move out of your way. This guy is a lemming. Complete lemming. It shows he's in 6 of my servers. Wolfwood Motorsport, Jarder, Gaming, Eris Drives. And this guy is a guy, he comes to the chat, cries wolf, then the real story comes out that he's wrecking people like crazy all the time. Now, if there's a gap of going for We Race Hard, welcome to racing. Clown mindset, great mentality. To finish first, you must first finish. You have not heard that one? Except the gap was vanishing, small at best to no amount if Gap Car was going to change that. It's pretty insane the lack of racecraft that some people have. Dumbo! And stick with their opinions even if multiple people tell them they're in the wrong. In the sense the move made. I think we beat it like a dead horse, but he keeps coming back. Oh, I'm sure this will be a doozy to read. Something hard. Racing something. Waiting patiently. The craziest part is he's the one getting all attention from being the victim in an intentional crash. Oh my goodness, the entertainment value. At last, the record seems to be willing to put his hands up and take the L. Right. He'll get some time off for sure. Original guy, original poster. Wow, this is the most bullocks of all the comments I've read. I have never once moved under braking. I don't dish what I can't take. I am the cleanest driver on the track because I respect everyone's time as long as I have time myself. I don't race often here and have been on since 6 months or more. So to say my name pops up is funny. then I haven't been on track. Also, I moved to the inside for too wide to the apex. I had every right to do so. When there is a gap, the driver behind can move into the apex, especially when the car ahead has chosen their entry line into the corner. It is also allowed to feign the outside line, then go to the inside. Yeah, that's what the guy making his turn did. He wasn't even outside. He was in the normal racing line and went to turn in. He says, that's racing. I don't get all these talks about being patient when there is a gap. Oh, God, this guy is one thick hombre. You are not seeing what I'm seeing. Yeah, obviously you need glasses, Mr. Magoo. This was literally my second contact in the race, and the first one, like you recently pointed out, in the Lamborghini area, who was also trying to block me. Turning before the apex because another car making a move is blocking. Dude, that guy was not blocking. Are you crazy? How's it blocking? He was making a normal turn into a left-hander. By the way, I am a licensed FIA driver. Don't just mouth off what I don't know. I know the rules and abide by them. Well, you know what? If you're an FIA driver, you need to go back to like go-karts and learn how to race properly. And also learn how to race while you're there, learn how to race like a gentleman. I had many P1 races with 0 incidents. I'm sure others would contribute their take on this. I'm going to upload clear vantage point for everyone to see that I had the right move to the inside. 15 The main problem, though, is there was a gap before braking. He took a direct braking line to the corner and committed this before you broke later than him. So in this case, it's on you for forced overtaking on a closing gap. Yes, that's right. This guy says cat nonsense. This guy says departure. Oh my goodness. Chill out, guys. Says the moderator, Woody. Stupid stuff to intent wreck, but maybe next time give a place back for following straight when you ram someone like that? Question mark. Skill issue. Go think about what you did. My honest reaction. Mom says it's my turn to be a licensed FIA driver. Are you sure about that? Guy is saying he was second in contact in the race, but not mentioning he already did hit 2 contacts in a Ferrari, judged by the video he posted. And Lambo, he mentioned, must be 10th contact properly. Not so clean racing standards for FIA licensed driver. Homer Simpson with monkey symbols. Clearly, 1 contact when Ferrari is put in front of me. I was making the pass on the outside when I'd seen the car in front of him. I pulled back and saw the car, thus waited for another opportunity to wreck again. No, these all happened within 500 meters. He was there the whole time. You drove into him. Skill issue! You know, darling, it doesn't make you any less of a driver to be patient and wait for better opportunity. An opportunity where you don't come steaming up his inside when he's already turning into a corner. He clearly wasn't there. He's making the move after I was already there. What? Are you talking about? Car there, and you run into the back of them. Don't hit the cars you can see, wackadoo. Full gas, no brake. Okay, mate, keep talking. Having a sandwich. Lyle. Have right for defense position. What does it say? It was P3. I spun under my own error. With right contact, gravel, exit from chicane. Not sure what you're getting at. He does! Which is why I didn't complain. Full throttle, right into car. Pretty clear. Full throttle to overtake before car brakes out to block. Different perspective. Guy still thinks he's right. There was nowhere to overtake. You ran into him. Nowhere? Nowhere what? You ran into the back of him twice. Different POV after Villeneuve chicane. He's ahead. He's allowed to use that track. It's not his responsibility to look behind him. The ones behind to be cautious of those ahead. Jeez, wow. That's a great. I love that. Come on, look at that. That's just a line of beauty right there. It's like it almost came from like Jesus himself. He allowed to pull this move since his car is 100% clear of you. Which again is why I didn't complain. Which is still, I didn't complain. You're complaining about it right now. Both contacts are on you for being so aggressive. Same for the braking into the hairpin brakes. Making it, closing a gap. You took overly ambitious to send on the inside despite he had already committed to braking to. I also had the right to make an overtake and carry more speed than the car ahead. Yes, you did, but you couldn't do it without hitting him. This guy, man, question mark, question mark, question mark. This is pretty sad, to be honest. I can't sleep because this effing, maybe that FBA license is going to his head or something. Guy comes back, so you're saying, I should have made a move to overtake when clearly there was a space to make that overtake. Of course, what else are you going to say? This move is clear. The problem is he defends it and you don't react. That's on you. If he's stuck behind a Porsche, sure, go for it, but he didn't. He clearly has overspeed on the car ahead, but it's obvious he's going to pull to the left to overtake the car ahead of him. He pulls out late. I immediately drop my throttle before the contact. Too late brake, and it unsettle him, nor cause for him to spin. Oh my God. Clown face. No, you don't. You hit them, then you hit him and then let off. That's because you're looking after the fact in the race. I didn't see the car ahead as my wheel was covering. Oh my God, this guy. Just wow. Like, you can't make this stuff up. And the thing is, I see stuff like this on Facebook all the time. People just clueless. And they're just all like, they have a legion of people telling them they're completely wrong. And they continue to politic that they're right. It's just unbelievable. This guy's got to be in his mid-20s because generally that's what I call mid-20s syndrome, where you think you're right. Just hold on to it even when you're wrong. Sorry, officer, I didn't mean to shoot that guy. I didn't see him. You see the other car before this, though. Which is why I didn't complain about that. I pulled back and waited for the next corner. I guess your definition of waiting is different than others. Here comes Dan to defuse. Pog face. Now, let's just move on from what I really need to be questioned and move to Entosa. Maybe it's an ad for Only Dan's. Dan says, still taking it in about that one. You see the other car in front? That's where my eyes are. It's the apex. Yes. And I'm tired of sending the gift. Don't you see the other car in T2? There's the other car right there. Minor inconvenience. I can't see the cars I'm looking at. Apex. Let's talk about the Poe G Nuts entrance into the chicane that was a masterclass. Let's move on from Tamburello because the move with Tosa is way more rigorous. That bug even is this. Original poster says, I see the car, but there's another car in the gravel trap, which obviously could have been this car. It's milliseconds decision making. You're analyzing it with minutes. Bro, are you serious? You literally watched the car in front of you go off. If you thought this was a car 3 in front of you, you need to visit the eye doctor. He's a licensed FAA driver, as serious as it gets. Fade inside move blocks inside. This is from the OP. Then I move outside. In FAA WC rules, you're not allowed to change line into the corner under braking. Once selected braking line, you maintain that line and you leave your car's width space on the corner. Well, actually, going into that corner where you drilled him, that's exactly what he did. You couldn't pass him without contact. He's on the racing line. Going back into the hairpin scenario from this POV, he's already braking committed to break in the corner. At this point, you swerved it inside, attempt to outbrake him into the corner. It's not a block by him. Racing rules, if a driver has already committed to break in the corner, it's on the tactor if there's contact. So at this point, your move, his force was, it's a closing gap. Yes. This guy is a man of common sense. Sure, you're getting FIA lessons is pretty easy. This car's trajectory is already to the inside of the corner, but you swerve as it's already started braking. Simply a skill difference. It's time to shut this down. OP. This would be correct if it didn't stay intentionally in the center of the track or the intentional reason of trying to block the move. He wasn't blocking. It was clear he wasn't blocking. If he chooses the outside line and make the move inside, he can't stop because he's already committed to the inside. Here you can see I made the move with the front axle along. This, for all your FIA spew, OP, this is meaningless. For all your above knowing the WEC and FIA rules, this proves that you, sir, are a fraud. Because this is an F1 rule. Not a WEC rule, nor is it a sports car racing or IMSA rule. So you're 100% wrong. Screenshots are invalid in this situation. Okay, do you seriously think he's got to make space to force your way in there? He's already on his line. I think the Ferrari ban should be rescinded. I like that one. No, keep the ban, but don't touch his SR. I'm willing to let it slide, sweep it under the rug. Too late, it already happened. I don't mind, to be honest. I only play during the weekends anyways with my crappy G27 and still fast enough to give Mr. FIA a run for his money. Justified because it seems like a guy is a nuclear missile. I mean, it's okay if the ban or whatever, I'll disagree with rescinding the ban, but two wrongs don't make a right. If you can get an FIA license for literally just doing grassroots wrestling, so it's not that much. I was just joking. He shouldn't have to yield his head before he started to brake. Otherwise, you just send it on the inside any car for any distance and just have to bake it. Ah, yeah, that's dumb. You forced the overlap on the inside just by trying out braking. You should ban the Porsche. Nah, resetting SR though. Fair enough. Couldn't tell. OP decides to post a F1 chart. FII guideline of open wheel cars. We're not racing open wheel cars here, sir. Does the car you look like an open wheel car? It's not. It clearly shows right here. That's a big no-no. Big no-no, big no-no. He's actually proving himself wrong by posting this. Obviously, the guy can't even read. He just proved himself wrong by posting that. This is him, by the way, the lap before, same move, different target. Let's take a look. Wow. Same spot. This guy. What? Just all I can say is wow. They claim he didn't hit anybody else. Wow. All I can say is wow. This guy is a troll or just a complete doofus. Let's look this guy up. Yeah, well, it makes sense now. It all makes sense. At this point, I think I'm giving it up. This person, I give up on. I just give up. I Googled, and that's the end of this. That's the end of this. I post the rules again. He just completely ignores it. And that's the end of this. I hope this was entertaining to you as it was for me reading and doing this. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.